Welcome back to Beyond the Apple, Reframing Conversations in Education. And today we're going to be talking about Carol Dweck's work in growth mindset.
Right. And when you talk about growth mindset, she also talks about a fixed mindset.
Absolutely.
So you need to talk about what both of those are. So a fixed mindset it is when we work from the premise that we are all born with just certain abilities.
Right.
And you just can't go past that.
I can't do math.
Right. I can't do math. You know, no one in my family can do math, right? You just think you're genetically disposed to not being able to do math.
Right.
Or I could never run. No one in my family runs.
Right.
So it's this feeling that you just can't get over that, right? It's just how you're hardwired.
Exactly.
And a growth mindset takes a look at that and says, okay, I am not a great runner, but I would like to become a better runner.
Right.
So that means you're open to developing that. Or, you know what, math is really challenging to me, but I really want to learn how to solve this equation.
Exactly.
So you're opening your mind
Right.
to working towards that goal.
That's right. And there's a role in growth mindset for the student's perception, but also for the teacher's perception when that teacher is working with the learner.
Right. What you want to do as a teacher, I don't mean to sound preachy, but as a teacher, what we want to do is provide those opportunities so the student can progress.
Yes.
But what I find really interesting and what Carol Dweck is now talking a lot about is she worries that in education, we abdicate to the student too easily and say, oh, they have a fixed mindset. I can't get past it.
Right.
They'll never be able to learn how to multiply.
Right. Yes.
So we have to be really careful about that.
Yeah. And the teacher's perception when she is working with that student is to establish what the student, again, has under control and how the teacher can move that student forward through a variety of different lesson formats, types, whatever. But they're responding to the student learning and also sharing with the student that making mistakes
Is part of it.
is actually a good thing.
Right, because, sorry, I didn't mean to jump all over you.
That's all right. Because a mistake is really a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
You make the mistake, you learn from it, and then you say, okay, this is an opportunity where now I can go forward because you've gathered some other information in that mistake.
Right, the mistake isn't seen as, see, I told you I couldn't do it.
That's right. It's not the end. It is, again, the beginning. And again, it's not, as we've said in our other discussions, it's not about painting everything as lollipops and unicorns.
Or affirmations. I will be better in math. I will be better in math. It's not about that.
No, it's about really a lot of hard work to get from point A to point B to point C in perhaps a variety of ways. But there are expectations, but there's also not expectations for success, but expectations that you can get there.
That you can get
Yes.
there. It's about progressing.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is we all have a mix of that.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
fixed and growth. I mean, when we think of ourselves, I can think
yeah.
of things like, oh yeah, I'm just not good at that. And then when I do switch that for myself and go, okay, maybe I'm not, but I think I'll try.
Right.
That does help. So I think sometimes it's really good as teachers if we might not use that language with the student, but get at why they think it's hard,
Right.
and try to help them see that they are making some progress, and here's how they can make even more progress towards that.
Right.
So the fixed mindset isn't necessarily a horrible thing. You can use that as a leverage to jump into growth.
Exactly. That's right. And again, we mentioned the word feedback quite a bit, but it really comes down to that, doesn't it? About this feedback conversation between the student and the teacher that just keeps going throughout the learning process.
And growth mindset sounds a lot like appreciative inquiry.
Well, you know, Tara, that's so interesting because it is, yes, like appreciative inquiry, and then going back to the work I've done with Mari Clay's work, this whole notion of going from the known to the new.
Absolutely.
There are these echoes that keep showing up, and even John Dewey. You know, when
Good old John Dewey.
There are echoes
Yeah.
of this notion of building on what a student knows to move forward, and always having expectations. For moving
Of
forward.
progressing. Yeah.
Right.
Again, it's not like everyone wins or your effort is good enough. No,
Right. No.
It's about how to extend that effort.
Right.
But we will post an article by Carol Dweck on our website that you
Right.
can download that gives a really good background to all of this.
Great.
So please visit us at our website, beyondtheapple.com, and follow us on Twitter.